Hey guys, Cameron with CBM Reviews here, and we're up to the next part of the list. This one, we're talking about the top 20 comic book movies that are my favorites. If you haven't seen the first episode, you can go ahead and click it right here, and you can see what my picks are for numbers 20 through 16. But now we're on part 2, and we're going to talk about the movies that are numbers 15 through numbers 11. This one might be some of my most controversial picks. There's definitely going to be some discussion here. So sit tight, it'll be okay. It's just my opinions. There's nothing contractually obligating you to agree with whatever I say. We're gonna get going. And number 15, we're gonna start off with the sleeper hit that caught me by surprise. Number 15, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I did not expect to love this movie as much as I did. And this was an Edgar Wright movie. I didn't really know what I was going to get going into it. But the style of this movie and the flair of it, the attention to detail as far as callbacks to the original source material. And this crams, I believe, 6 books into one movie and does it without making it feel like it's too heavy and too full of itself. The casting was good. A lot of the Evil X's have actually been in other superhero movies, like Chris Evans is Evil X number 2, and he's been Captain America and Human Torch and some other characters that I really don't want to have to use my brain power to remember. And there's also Brandon Routh, who was Superman in Superman Returns and is currently playing the Atom in Legends of Tomorrow. So you've got some comic book alumni in there. Michael Cera does a fine job playing Scott Pilgrim. They could have cast somebody else, but it's all right. And some of the other characters are just adorable. I really didn't expect to enjoy this movie as much as I did. And so Scott Pilgrim cracks the top 20 list. And if you don't have him in your top 20 list, give it a second try. You might enjoy it more than you remembered. Number 4 on this list, we're going to switch gears and go full-on action-packed with another one that caught me by surprise. Number 14, Kingsman: The Secret Service. This one, I was gonna watch. I didn't think I was gonna love it like I did, but I did. And this was the first movie that I think I saw, what is his name? Taron Egerton? I didn't know exactly what to do. I knew it was kind of like a James Bond meets something else. I wasn't sure. Wow. This movie was surprisingly well done, well put together. I was kind of iffy on Samuel L. Jackson portrayal in this movie, but it works out well. For any other reason, even if this movie as a whole doesn't make your top 20 or top 10 list, as far as scenes from a comic book movie, that church scene though, you can't sleep on that church scene though. Number 13, we're going into outer space with Guardians of the Galaxy. Did not quite break my top 10. Although, like I said, some of these that I'm about to say didn't break my top 10, and it is what it is. Guardians of the Galaxy was directed by James Gunn, and this was another one of those, what am I getting myself into? Now, keep in mind, as far as Marvel movies go, we had just gotten out of the third Iron Man movie, the Thor sequel, the Avengers, and this was a cast of characters no mainstream person knows about. Like every single character, unless you were a comic book reader, all of these characters were alien to us. See what I did there? But lo and behold, this movie is fun. It has heart. It has action. It has talking raccoons. It has talking trees. It has all of these issues that go together that on paper shouldn't go together. But it does. It does so well. You're going to have favorite characters that you didn't even know existed. You're also going to have the beginning of a relationship that I just do not believe in, but they went ahead and made it canon, so what are you gonna do? This also features Ronan the Accuser, who is a major Marvel character, and I felt like the character was portrayed a little over the top, but he gets a whole lot less props than I think that he deserves. As far as Marvel villains go, he's great. The only thing that I hate that he was taken down by a dance battle. I mean, number 12 on this list, Thor Ragnarok. Yeah, Thor Ragnarok makes this list. And at first, I didn't think I was going to have a Thor movie on here, but the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, this Thor movie actually does rise above what was previously laid down as far as groundwork. and it strives to be so much better. You've got a new director in this, which in fact all the Thor movies had different directors. It's not exactly a good trend, but they finally found the rhythm with Taika Waititi, and he brings a level of humor to the character, one that I didn't think would fit, yet I'm glad that they brought in. They have the dynamic between Thor and Loki. There's also newcomers with Valkyrie, Korg, and then the new villain Hela, who happens to be their older sister. A lot of things fit here. The only things that I feel don't fit are sometimes that they put comedy in situations where there's a little bit more gravity. I've talked about this before, where something happens at the end and it should be a very solemn and subdued event, and Korg pops a joke. But the fight scenes are great, the villain's great, the music actually works. You don't normally hear rock music in a Thor movie. That's usually reserved for Iron Man movies, but it very much works in this one. Plus, there's Jeff Goldblum, so there you go. So the last one on this particular video is the number 11 pick. Very controversial. You guys are gonna hate me, not because it's on the list, but because it's so low on the list. Superman. The first Superman doesn't break top 10. And I have my reasons. Those reasons are based in my top 10. But this is the granddaddy of all the comic book movies. Yes, there were other comic book movies that came before this. There were the serials, and then there was the Adam West Batman movie. But this was the first one that took it on another level. Richard Donner's story and direction of this, it broke boundaries. It literally broke boundaries, and it gave us a character that we'd seen in comic books in the last 30 years or so. And even though we'd seen George Reeves play the character on TV, we got Christopher Reeves. This was one of the most excellent casting decisions. It was a perfect casting choice. And you couldn't look at Christopher without saying, that's Superman. And every Superman that's been cast after Christopher has been looking up to Christopher Reeves. You will believe a man can fly. That was the tagline of the movie, and it holds true today. Even with the helicopter scene where he saves Lois, and we still make jokes about the turning time back to date. But that doesn't take away from the fact that it's a brilliant movie. Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor does a great job in it. And you gotta love, it even sets up for the sequel, Superman 2, with the imprisonment of General Zod and his acolytes in the Phantom Zone early when they're on Krypton. It looks forward, it looks ahead, it looks up, and it looks great. I wish that I could have put this iconic movie a little bit higher, but it is what it is. So that's my picks from 15 to 11 of my top 20 comic book movies. Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And share this video with all your friends. As always, this is Cameron with CBM Reviews. We'll see you next time.
Mind over muscle. They can be a great people, Kal-El. They wish to be. They only lack the light to show the way. For this reason, above all, I have sent to you my only son.